My God, it's like our tactics. Is it all over, or are we tapping out too early? Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you guys are well and welcome. Do you know what, boys? I haven't left this damn studio. What's the professional word for it? Since 12 p.m.
Dungeon.
Dungeon and Dragons, and I am just shattered. And I'm just like, I wish the players would put in 10% of the effort we've put in today. It's just pathetic, and I am freaking done with this low block tactics. But look, I've had my say. Dina, open us up, mate. How are you feeling? A couple of hours.
Well, I'll do an impression of you opening this show, shall I? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever, wherever you are in the world.
That's how I feel.
That's how you did it, buddy. Is that how you feel?
That's how I feel, man.
You know what?
I'm done. I'm done with this low block, pathetic style of no fight football, man. I'm just done with it. It's Heaton. It's Heaton 2.0. I'm sorry, it is.
There you go, crypto.
Feels like
That's
it,
why
doesn't
I'm happy. Forest is sending me quickly on a downhill slope to alcoholism.
I'm freaking Muslim and I'm thinking about drinking, man. Astaghfirullah, man. Seriously, but I swear to God, man, football is just a humbler.
It's so difficult to watch. It's worse than the stadium. It absolutely is worse than the stadium.
Was there any booing at the end, Ez?
Say again?
I thought I heard some booing at the end. Was there booing?
I left just before. I left just after Lingard came on. To be honest, that was enough for me.
Blame you, man. I lost my crap with that one.
I can't say that I heard any booing. To be fair.
Right. Nottingham Now and Then. Listen, mate. With me and Nottingham Now and Then had such a great afternoon until the football kicked off. It was round of mine. We're all geared up ready. We're having a laugh, and then the game started, and our mood. We were shouting at the telly. We were banging the sofa. Oh my God! So yeah,
banging the sofa. You're not banging on the sofa, right?
We were banging the sofa. Thank you.
Thanks for
clarifying. How very deep.
I'm already cheered up.
Eddie, we're not going to be depressed tonight. If you've watched any of our post-match, that's the depression out. Wolverine's obviously still a little bit depressed. But yeah, and Ant just can't take it, to be honest.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
if you haven't watched the vlog yet, you're gonna have to wait till after this stream. But it's a crack.
Yeah,
it's an absolute.
The vlog is designed to cheer you guys up. Like the first 3 minutes of that vlog, I promised you yesterday that these boys were working on something funny and amazing, and hopefully, those of you who have seen it, hopefully you've enjoyed it, and those of you who haven't seen it. You'll get to enjoy it hopefully afterwards. But Dini is spot on. Look, I just want to get the depression off, right? I haven't stopped, man. Literally, for all of us today, for all of us, we were doing some of the pre-stuff for the vlog before the match from 12. Then we were in a couple of meetings. Then we had the actual match. You guys went down to the match. We had the watch along down this, and then the player ratings, and we were putting the vlog together. You guys were editing stuff in the background, and we're trying to eat in between it. Literally, the vlog we just finished it 10 minutes ago, put it live, and here we are. And I just thought, you know what, we need our guys and girls in the chat. And let's get straight into the subject. As Cooper, it's got to be discussed. I'm done with him. I'm sorry, I love him for last season. But I never look backwards. For me, always look forwards. And right now, when was our last one? What's it been? 11 games now? 10 games? I've lost count.
It was Leeds game, wasn't it?
Leeds, back in...
Leeds at home, yeah.
How long ago was that? Oh, feels like an age. But we're talking Cooper. Yeah, I've made my points quite clear. And I think some people thought I was being a bit too hasty and a bit too rash. I said I still back him while he's in the seat. I'll back him. I will support him, and we did again today. And it's actually embarrassing sometimes listening to
Hold on, there's one sec. There's a slight echo I'm picking up. I don't know which one of you two it is. Let's do the old Dino, go on mute. Say something, Ez.
Yeah. Hello.
It's you, Dino.
Yeah, sorry, Dino.
My God, I've got to fix this. Sorry, guys.
That's right. Go on, let's carry on. Sorry.
Am I loud enough or is it too loud?
Yeah, if we're talking Coops, man, he's just it's disappointing, and he's still. First time I actually saw him when they scored the second goal, he just raised his arms and went and sat down, and that's the first time I've seen him do that all season. To be fair, he's had enough. He can't figure it out. Maybe somebody else can. I don't know, but I'm seeing nothing of improvement from him. I look at Bournemouth, mate. They stuck with a rookie manager.
Thumbs up, thumbs up.
And what they can honestly say, as harsh as it's been for them, because they've had a lot of last minute defeats, you know, but they've played decent. And the thing they can say is that they've seen progress throughout the season. Can we say that? Because I can't.
Yeah,
and that's what's hurting me the most, mate.
Before you jump in, Dino, quick shout out, Nottingham now and then, Dave. You're way too generous, buddy, with the £10 donation.
My lunch today, by the way. Thank you for that, buddy.
He's too kind. He's an absolute gentleman.
He's too nice. Bless him.
Go on, Dino, you're just about to jump in.
Yeah, I mean, Jim's put it here for us to getting worse, and there's been another couple of comments in the chat as well. I think my problem with whether it's Cooper, whether it's the structure, whether it's the players, but whatever it is, it's the club, it's the team at the minute, is that you guys know that I don't like our identity or lack of. You guys know that I don't like this frigging 30% possession is like I'm waking up with it here every day, every morning. I don't like it. I don't like my club playing that style of football. And therefore, if that's all Cooper's got, then I'm sorry, I don't personally want that. And there's nothing personal against Cooper.
Nothing wrong with that.
I just don't want to see that style of football where we're relying on the fastest player in the division, which is Johnson, who's been playing almost every game and is obviously has a dip in form, which all players go through. But relying on that outlet is just so predictable. It's unbelievable. So I don't like that football. I prefer high press, mid-block game. For me, Bielsa suits that mentality. And then, you know, yeah, I mean, I'll take your comment also, I think, earlier on. I just need to drop this in. Sorry, I just need to drop this in. I think it was again from Jim. You know, we've got to respect other channels without a shadow of a doubt. I watched that as well, and I enjoyed it. They're not happy. They're not happy to go down, but they've got an opinion that they think Cooper's going to be the longer term future for us.
Add this to the transfer pot next season.
The legend Jace. Add this to the transfer pot for next season, Jace. Jace, you get on your. You get on. Has anyone seen Four Lions? Yeah, you get on your rubber dinghy rapids, bruv. Right, and you freaking get down that Thames with your stupid tweet, bro. Yeah, because you're still sinking, man. You fluked it today against us. Well, congratulations. At least your team didn't bottle it. Yeah, they came back against Arsenal. Arsenal, man. With that dinosaur's ass Moyes in charge. They came back against Arsenal. I felt as soon as we went 1-0 down, might as well switch it off, man. It's done. It's done. But Jace, we'll see you tomorrow and beat the drop. Oh, fuck, he's gonna be unbearable.
He's gonna be unbearable, isn't he?
He's gonna be.
But look forward
I got a real migraine coming on.
Yeah, just finishing off what I was saying. The thing is, for me, every fan's got different opinions. That's why people are still singing Cooper's name in the ground. Okay, so everybody has different opinions, and we've got to respect that. Otherwise, these channels will all be dead boring, wouldn't they? They would
all be the same, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being Cooper in, and there's nothing wrong with being Cooper out. Yeah, it's your opinion. Have justification.
I understand the point on the channel, on the stream I watched earlier, which was very good. That we need some consistency because we've had so many managers, haven't we? So I get it. For me, it's not a personal Cooper gripe. I just don't like his style of football, and that's the end of it for me. I don't like seeing, 30% possession this year, generally home and away. Last year, it was kind of 48-53 home and away. So it wasn't. We've never really dominated under Cooper's tactics. It was just a weaker division last year. But listen, I don't want 5 years of this where we're just scraping 17th every year with 30% possession. And I mentioned it in my post-match. That's not entertainment for me, and that's just my personal opinion. So for me, I would rather see a manager in place that plays the type of football that I like to see. That's just a personal thing. Doesn't represent the channel or anybody else's views. That's just not. That's just my opinion.
Everyone gets the choice on what their view is. And you know what? I've been debating, is it too late or not to get rid? And I still look at it, right? 1, 2, 2.5 wins as in a draw, maybe be enough. Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth is celebrating like they've won the World Cup because they've had those 2 games. They're on 33, I want to say. I just remembered Spurs again. Do you know how badly Spurs have screwed us? Giving Everton a goal in the last minute for a point, giving Boring Mouth 3 points from being in front. I'm going to punch my...
I disagree with you. No other clubs are screwing us. We're screwing ourselves. We can't rely on other clubs.
Dino, we have no choice.
No, we do have a choice. They're all fighting. Bournemouth are getting results. Wolves getting results. You know, Everton. All these clubs are getting results around us. Maybe not Everton so much now, but you know, Palace have pulled away. We can't keep talking about other clubs. We can't keep talking about VAR, which Cooper in his post-match, if anybody saw it, kind of said, I don't want to talk about it, and then went on to talk about the handball, which, listen, it was handball. It was handball. It would have been given for Man United, in my opinion, Varchester United.
100%.
But I wasn't that bothered about it. You know why? Because they're still beating us anyway. We might have missed the penalty. I just don't have that much confidence at the minute in our team. And I'm not sure whether... Nice one, Anne. I'm not sure whether players are down in tools a little bit. Not publicly coming out, but actually down in tools a little bit. Because... Sorry, I know I'm ranting.
Go. This is the Dino rant,
mate. We're 1 man down. Go ahead.
The backing I put on that comment that I've just made is that they came out second half and started pressing. I was like, oh, hello. And then they stopped. Yeah. It was almost like they've got like a nitro button that lasts 3 minutes that they go mad on.
Gone in 60 seconds, mate, isn't it?
ERS, if anybody watches Formula 1, it's like ERS where you just use your ERS up and then it just goes back to nothing. And it's like, if you're going to do that, you've got to keep that up for an entire half or, God forbid, a whole 90 minutes. But doing it in 5-minute patches is no good.
I'd take 5 minutes.
I would have taken 5 minutes. Yeah. It was such a flash in the pan. And the thing was, I turned around to the guy sat next to me and says, they're rattled. For the first time in the game, we had them rattled. And then we just let them off the hook. It was unbelievable. Because it got the crowd off their seat. I mentioned so in my post-match video about it. And it looked like, okay, he's actually going for it. I thought that I said, it felt like just 30 seconds, to be honest, mate. We cornered them literally in near their corner flag. 3 players on 1, and we got the ball back. And then after that, it didn't happen again. So there's a few players, mate. Their work rate was absolutely shocking. And I'm going to call him out. I don't care. MG Dub, mate. You're shocking, mate. You were shocking today. Your work rate was non-existent, mate.
Morgan.
His form's definitely dipped.
First half, he tried his tricks and flicks and got him nowhere. Second half, the space opened up for him a little bit, but his passing was poor. His decision making was poor.
He's lacking composure, as for me.
He's lacking composure. He's lacking
lost
confidence.
that composure.
You know, because early on in the season, he was even taking pot shots. Yeah, they weren't coming off, but he was taking them. He wasn't doing that even today. He didn't. I don't think he took a single shot. And we didn't have a single shot on target.
How many of you in the chat saw Danilo lining up for a shot and said in your head, don't shoot? Because that's the first thing I did.
That shot was the one that got deflected. It nearly went on target with the deflection. You know, that was his best shot. But this Morgan Gibbs White. I got really excited as when I saw Lodi taking a corner. Firstly, Ant the Hat, you have with the $4.99. That's way too generous, man. Thank you so much, buddy. I know he's pissed as well.
£4.99 Ant the Hat. We offered zero pressure on the Man United defence. Should have thrown kitchen sink at Maguire.
Absolutely. We'll talk about the whole Maguire Awoniyi thing in a second. Yeah, that's the key
Can
point.
I just comment on this, please?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Oh.
Bring it up, mate.
Easy, how you doing? We talk about mistakes in defence, but sorry, I'm not going to mention 30% again, but I'll mention 70% for the other side, i.e. every frigging team home and away this season, depending on, irrespective of where they are in the league. But the midfield and attack are awful, put a shed load of pressure on the defence. And therefore mistakes will show up. If you're low blocking and you're giving the team that much possession home and away, again irrespective of whether they're in first place or 20th place, the defence are gonna have trouble.
We'll come on to that. But can we just finish this Morgan Gibbs White thing? Because we captured it as well on the vlog. When he did that, I was just saying, I was really happy when Lodi took the corner. I mean, that's what nearly caused that should have been a penalty because it went to the back post, cleared the first man. It was like, what the hell's going on here? And then they lined Morgan Gibbs up on the other side. Now, granted, by the way, I've lost my voice, so bear with me. But the first corner he did went deep, But then that one that went straight out of play, I nearly pulled my goddamn pubes out, man. Seriously, it's like, what the fuck, man? It's like
one by one,
just to it's just unreal. It's unreal that he's still on corner duty. It's just
that's funny, man. That is funny.
Yeah, Remo's another one, another ghost. Yeah,
and then as he brings him off with 3 minutes from the end.
That's when I left.
And he brings goddamn Lingard, the person who's done nothing all season, the person who shouldn't be in the club, the person who's probably already sorted out his next contract.
I just thought that was a piss take, to be honest.
That's when I lost it. That's when I lost it. That's when
I was. His contract, but it must be in his contract that he gets a run out against Man U because he's done nothing. He's been nowhere near the starting lineup for months, and then up against Man U. Same in the cup game he tried to play, man. He got injured in the warm up, didn't he? But again, out of nowhere, he was due to play that game.
Cos, just to answer your question, buddy.
You answer that question, mate.
Felipe, that's it.
Felipe, and Danilo. I'd say Danilo as well.
European class centre back playing for a relegation threatened side. So. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. And the fans.
I would give Williams a shout out today as well. I thought he played well as a wing back. He's not a right back, but as a wing back.
I know everyone is saying he did well.
He had no support from Jono. He had absolutely no support from Jono.
Yeah, but what did he really do? What did he really do? He got down the wing a bit. But it's all huffing and puffing. It's all huffing and the problem is
no support, mate. He had no
Hold
support.
on. Let me make my point. Let me land here, lads, right? My point is you can't have one person have a performance and 10 other players not. It doesn't work. You can barely carry 2 players having a bad game in the Premier League, So there's no point for me in picking out, Nico Williams had a good game. Felipe was good. I'm tired. I've lost my voice. I'm just done. But my point here is simple. If you carry 2 players in the Premier League, you're more than likely going to lose the match. We are carrying 7 to 8 every single game. And the only person who is consistent is Felipe. Full stop, man. He is miles better than the rest of that squad put on top of each other, man. They're a freaking joke. And they should, I said in the player A's, they should apologize to him every time they come off the pitch, that they insult his integrity and his style of how he plays football. And it's just embarrassing. That's the level that the whole team should be aiming at. He should be captain. Why Mangala was given the armband when Freuler went off baffled me. Nothing against Mangala, but when you got Felipe there charging, it's just...
I know a lot of this has been aimed at Cooper, but I think the whole club is in a bit of a mess, from the amount of scouts that have been sacked, and we've had the sporting director or whatever role he was in. What was he given? A few months, and then Ross guys come in. I just think that I don't know. Marinakis seems to be sort of throwing his money at lots of different things and hoping that something sticks without any true. If you're going to go counter-attacking, let's say the 30% thing, 30%, and let's counter-attack, then you build a team around that, don't you? We've not done that. We kind of, let's have him. So there's a lot wrong with the club other than Cooper, in my opinion. And I think bringing a new manager in is the right thing to do for me personally, but it's not going to do Roy Hodgson overnight because Palace were a solid team already that had an identity that were kind of they've not made 30 signings. They've just made gradual a few signings each transfer window to enhance this squad, and we're not there yet. I do think we'll go down, unfortunately. I don't see another win in us, to be honest.
Do you see another point in us?
I do see another point in us, yeah, but I don't see another win.
Where?
No, I don't see another win. See points.
No, points.
Oh, yeah.
Let's small building blocks, Dino. Small building blocks.
Brentford, Palace.
Did you see what Palace did to Leeds away? Yeah. And did you see what we did to Leeds?
Did to Palace in the first half? Do you know what I mean? It was just a bit of a.
It's all well and good. You still got to look at what's in front of us right now. There is not one team that I can remember that we've played against that at some point or the majority of the match we haven't made them look good on the pitch. I am telling you now, right? I think at the moment we got that echo again, Dino. At the moment, I reckon half the championship teams would beat us. Look what Blackpool did to us. They're about to get relegated, man. Blackpool. And our second string team got tonked 4-1 or 4-0, whatever it was by them. Yeah. And we're here trying to debate if we're going to get a point against Crystal Palace. We're in cloud cuckoo land right now. We are. We really are. It's time for realism. There's 7 games to go. The bottom line is he is not getting the best out of the players. Like it or lump it, those players are playing lackluster football on that pitch. There's no passion, there's no fight, there's no desire. And to me, that spells one thing. There's no respect towards the manager or his tactics or both or either or. That's it. And something has to change. Do you think any of those players would play the way they did with a manager in there who demands respect? Look, Cooper's a manager. He's brilliant. When things are going well, he's brilliant. He knows how to lift a crowd, yeah? But these are players who are earning 50 to 100K, who have Champions League experience, who have all this, and they're looking at Cooper. You see it so many times in football. Some of these players must be looking at it and thinking, what have you done? You've won an under-17s World Cup and a playoff. Now, to us, that playoff is the be-all and end-all. But to players coming from, playing Champions League week in, week out, playing international football week in, week out, are they respecting him? Now, I'm not saying it's Cooper's fault. It could be the players, but that is a player trend.
I remember MGW earlier on this season came out and said along the lines of Cooper's too soft.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, I don't know. His post-match actually drove me mad tonight.
Yeah. I've not listened to it yet.
Don't.
Yeah, I can't even talk about it. So, is the Greek father going to pull the trigger tomorrow? Because if you look at his statement, he did say performances and results have got to be better immediately. Well, they're not.
And has that happened?
I'm sorry, they're not. I mean, we were abysmal today. We had, 5-6 shots at goal, 0 hit the target at home in such a critical match. I don't. And you know what? It's got to the point now where I can't even look at Cooper's face and think. I just can't even look at it because
you don't believe in it.
I don't believe he can turn it round. I know that there's a lot of people that do believe he can turn it round, and I respect that. But I just don't see a plan B again. I just don't see a different style of play. And we're so predictable, it's unbelievable. We are so predictable. Honestly, other teams must look at, it's Forest this week, it will give 80%. That'll be enough. And there must be, when these teams put their stuff all over the dressing room about other players and the strengths.
Yeah.
When it comes to Forest, it must be a freaking A4 piece of paper.
Post-it note.
Post-it note. You got it. You've got it. Post-it note. Yeah. And it'll be Felipe's pretty handy. Jono, they'll always play it down the right to him, and he's fast. And the midfield you can walk through.
And when it's coming to the City ground, all they'll say is, the crowd can G them up. But again, even the crowd are fed up. Even the crowd are fed up today, mate. You could hear it. I didn't hear any boos, like I say, and if it was, I wouldn't be surprised.
I was watching on TV. I thought I heard some boos, to be fair, but I may be wrong.
I don't think I heard anything.
I definitely heard some bloody.
Maybe it was when Lingard got subbed on as. Maybe people.
Maybe it was that.
That's when I walked out anyway. But there was fireworks going off as well halfway through the second half. What the fuck was that all about?
Well, they weren't on the pitch.
Did you not hear it? Well, yeah, certainly not on a pitch. I don't know if you heard it on TV, but they were fucking going off from probably from Eva's grill again. But I don't know absolutely why, because I think we were already 2-0 down by then.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear any, honestly. But we are too easy to play against. We're far too easy. No team has really had to come here, or certainly not had to come here and really put on a performance. Even when we've lost, we've not had to get out of second gear most of the time. And that's us giving away possession at home, playing like that, and not being a challenge for any team, really. We've been lucky on the games that we have won. We've had a goalkeeper in form, or they've not taken their chances. But we've not won a game convincingly all season. And when we've lost, it's been far too easy for the opposition. And it's just hard to watch, mate, and it's embarrassing to watch.
Riley's saying there were boos where he was. Where were you sitting, Riley? What are you saying?
Can I just answer something in the comments?
Yeah.
I don't know how old you're, buddy, but
Dino, you are like pure armchair, man. Yeah.
I don't know how old you're, buddy, but I've been supporting Forest since the age of 7, and I'm 55 this year. So I'm probably going to games as a season.
Justifying yourself, Dino. Why are you justifying yourself?
No. Listen, he's put a comment up, so. I just want to respond to it. I've probably had more season tickets than you are in age, but
and where do you sit, Jamal?
Home and away, I follow Forest. If you're lucky enough to have a season ticket and go to them, fair play to you, bro. Honestly, I've been to Wolves. I'm going to Brighton. I put a lot of effort in on this channel to help bring some good content to the channel.
You're away at Man City as well.
Yeah, away at Man City. I respect your opinion, bro, but I'm not an armchair fan, bud.
It's not, Dino. It's not worth it. Riley's saying it's in the Bridgeford Upper. In the Bridgeford Upper, the booth. Well, interesting. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I couldn't hear anything.
I did hear.
Sean, I got to shout out Sean. Sorry, 1 second. Sean is Lingard's biggest fan. And Sean, I love you for being his biggest fan. Yeah. You make me smile every time. I even said on the player ratings, I saw your comment, you definitely were going to give him a 10. I give him a 0, but that's just my Lingard issue. I want to talk about the formation. Dino said he was happy with what he saw pre-match. Yeah. How did you feel about the back three? Because I was oblivious to everything apart from my arousal. Thank you. That's the word. Yes. About seeing Nia Kate on there and Simon Jones. I told you he was fit. I told you it was all smoke and mirrors. But yeah, what did you think? Because this back three thing, man, I've been saying for weeks, if not months, I feel he's itching to go back to that formation. It's his one playbook. That's all he knows. That's his England formation that they taught him in the academy, and that's what he wants to go to. But did you think it was the right call going to a back three today?
With Nia Kate being back, obviously, which was a fantastic surprise, I was surprised that he then went to a back three because he changed it far too late in the game anyway, but he did change it later on. Yeah, so that's what surprised me. That once Nia Kate is fit, why have you gone for a back three? Because it's neither here nor there, is it? It's not. He's not going for it, and I want him to go for it. That's all I've said. Go for it, man. If we lose trying, then I'll take that. But if we seem to give up, but saying that, I was quite happy with the lineup because of certain other players. I was a bit disappointed that Dennis was left out.
Yeah,
And
me too, actually.
Scarpa's not on the bench, but if we'll go into individual performances later on, but I was happy to see Awoniyi on there until he actually played today. I thought he was poor. But then there's players around him, and I just want to go back to Simon's comment about Williams. Williams was running into space, but there was no player around him for 20 yards. There was no support. There was no link-up play. You can't be blamed for getting ball in space and there's no one around him to pass to. So he did his bit. Jono was nowhere near him. Morgan Gibbs-White was hiding. Again, the only one who made any movement up front was Awoniyi, and they didn't have the players. Shelby's the only one who can find him from those kind of passes, and it was left to Niakate to try and do it most of the time. And his balls were getting cut out. He was a little bit sloppy in his passing, but for most of them, the forward players were hiding today, and it just made everybody else's. When we did get the ball, we had no one to pass it to. That was a problem.
Yeah. I mean, Gabriel, you're right. You're right. We would have lost no matter what the formation, because there's a bigger underlining issue. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're blaming. I'm blaming Cooper.
Style. It's not formation. It's play style.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm blaming Cooper, which I think I'm right to do. Someone else will blame the players, and honestly, I think they'll be right to. And someone else will blame the management structure up above with all the hirings and firings, and I think they'd be right to. So the real question is, it kind of alludes to what you said earlier, Dean. Have the wheels fallen off, both on and off the pitch? No pun intended.
The wheels were never on, buddy. The wheels were never on. And I think,
I don't know. I thought under Dane Murphy, I've thought he was giving us some direction. You know.
I quite like Dane's approach.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't work with him day in, day out, so I don't know. I blame Gary Megson as well. We started all this.
Oh God, don't say that.
But it's an accumulation of things, isn't it? It's an accumulation of a team of people helping to choose the players that they're going to get. The coach, not the manager. The managers are gone now. Managers choose who they're going to sign, right? Coaches coach the team that the club want to sign. That's the difference. So it's an accumulation of all those issues that have caused the wheels to never be on this season. And like I say, I watched Ben's stream earlier, and they were talking about, did we come up too early? And I think there's an element of that as well.
I haven't seen it, but I'm not buying that
as well, where we were late to the playoffs. We had 6 or 7 loan players that were playing on a fairly regular basis. They all had to go back. We then had to we then had to panic sign. It's a factor, Wolverine. I don't care what you say. It's a factor. It is a factor. It's not.
Let's debate that just very quickly. Nick, thank you so much for the £1.99.
Nick Clark. He has to go. He's lost the dressing room.
Nick saying he's lost the dressing room. Interesting comment. Thank you so much for the £1.99. We'll talk about that
today.
But I don't want to lose that point. But before we do, and the hat with another £4.99.
I think they just want to shut us up. Thank you.
They do. I don't blame them. It helps give me a break.
£4.99 and the hat. Although Navas was good with his hands, hooray, but Maguire was brilliant today in goal.
We will talk about the penalty. Thank you so much. We will talk about Navas
point, Matt.
as well. Yeah, but just going back to this, did we come up too early? Yeah. My simple argument is I've been waiting to come up for 23 years, mate.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Look, I understand what you're saying in terms of the time frames you come up through the playoffs and so on. But in my loose memory, most teams that come up through the playoffs are the teams that usually end up surviving the first season in the Premier League. Yeah, and I've got no stats to back that up. It's just what I seem to remember just watching football in general. Yeah. And I'll put it this way. I'd rather have come up the latest team than not come up at all. That's the other thing I'd say. And the other thing I'd say with that, but they were busy recruiting, man. It was a 2-week break, and then we were straight in with Biancone coming in, etc. So obviously they sat down and made the plans. Yes, they didn't have the break that maybe a Fulham had or a Boring Mouth had or whatever, but it's... And
then we go down, and then we go... Yeah, I mean, we signing 23 players and then finally 30 after January is not ideal for any club.
Not ideal.
And I'm not making any excuse for anyone. I'm just saying it's a factor. The same as coming up through the playoffs rather than getting automatic promotion puts you back 4 games, doesn't it? 2, 3 games.
Yeah, but still, look, you know what? This is my feeling, my personal feeling, based on no one else but what I've seen this season. My personal feeling is the wheels came off when they decided in October not to fire Cooper. And what happened, which is fine, that's one thing, right? But it's the knee-jerk reaction now. I disagreed with that back in October. But that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making here is I feel that whoever was in charge decided there had to be a scapegoat. And they dumped it on the recruitment team. And then they had that beef with Dane Murphy about payment, legalities, etc., which I don't think we can actually go into.
He liked Cooper, did he, Dane?
What?
I'm not sure he liked
Yeah.
Cooper.
So the rumor was that he didn't back Cooper after the Leicester game. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true that is, but that might be part of it. But what I'm saying is that I felt that someone had to take the bullet in October. And because the fans came out for Cooper in October, then whoever decided, Marinakis, maybe Marinakis Jr., whoever, the gun got pointed in the direction of the recruitment team and in the direction of Dane. And, if you think that's right, if you think that's wrong, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you backed Cooper then, that was knee-jerk to get rid of the recruitment and Dane, etc. Because look what the new recruitment team did in January. That's more disastrous in many ways than what we saw there. Because now we're stuck with Chris Wood next season on 100k a goddamn week, unless he's got a clause in his contract.
Yeah, I agree with you. But it's not just any one factor that's done it, and it's not just Steve Cooper. It is an accumulation of all these things. And I've got to include. I'm not going to say the medical staff because I think I've backtracked a little bit on that. Medical staff don't injure players. I think the training's we've got so many hamstring problems. It's ridiculous. And we've been at the top of the league for injuries for a long time, pre-December, a long time. Yeah, Stephen Reed, how much of a factor was he? We'll never know.
That's the initial trigger. That is the initial trigger, whether you like it or lump it.
It's not just one trigger. There's been a lot of things. And I think it's just going to be one of those.
That's the first trigger. That was the first trigger.
It's a fait accompli for me that will probably go down. It's also, I mentioned this, we've got a couple of smirks from this before, Annus Horribilis. It's been a horrible year for us, hasn't it? But it's been a learning experience. But keeping Cooper or getting rid of Cooper, we need to be able to bounce back. Listen, I'm not into this. We'll come straight back up because that's a load of rubbish. There's not a great deal of teams do that. 50% of the teams that go down, I think, come back up. I looked at the stats. I just can't remember what they were. But you can, if you don't come on that first year after the parachute payment, you can fall into the abyss again. Which
end up with FFP as well on top of that.
Exactly. And you can get into a lot of trouble. But for me, we've got to build an identity, and that means select that if this Ross guy is the guy, then we've got to trust Ross, and if he's dictating the type of player that we sign with the manager, then it's got to be the right manager that matches the sporting director's approach. It's got to be supported by the owner and the type of football that he's paying for more than anyone that's got a season ticket, by the way, right? He wants to go and see a style of football, I'm sure, like we do. And the fans want to see a style of football as well. So, therefore, all that's got to be in line. And therefore, the players that we sign have to be in line with that.
There was a comment that Cooper made when he was questioned about the new football. What's his position officially? Was
Ross?
He's
like Ross Wilson.
What's his position officially? I can't remember. But he said he had a really great relationship with Filippo, and he's going to work hard to try and have a good relationship with Ross. That was a little bit telling for me, but it's almost been forced on him. If he was getting on with Filippo, whatever his name was, Girardi, then why was he moved? It's scapegoating. I think that's what
Philippe Flop.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
where do you think the wheels started falling off? Do you think, like Ant the Hat saying it was Stephen Reed and then the likes of Andy Reid being brought in, no Prem experience, etc.? Do you think it was in October? Do you think it's been more recently when they didn't fire him after the Leeds match? Or do you just think it's been like a general crap show, man?
Yeah, I think it's been a crap show from start to finish, to be honest. And you got to take some of the blame away because it was just kind of thrust on us. We had very little time to prepare for the Premier League in all ways, and it's showing. It's showing now, definitely. But in terms of what with Cooper, the trigger should have been pulled earlier, mate. We've said it without saying it, and some of us have actually said it and been heavily criticised for it. But the fact of the matter is, I will do anything to see my club stay in the Premier League. My loyalty isn't to. I don't care about the manager if that means we're going down just because we've got so much loyalty to a manager. And I'm not just blaming Cooper for this, but I'm saying I've not seen it like this before. You know, we've had managers up and down the years that we've supported, but it's like a cult. You know, it's just like. Do you know what I mean? And
I agree.
this illusion that he's going to even stay with us, whether we stay up or whether we go down, I think he's gone. Either way, I think he's gone. I don't think he's going to stick with us. And there's no guarantee, even if he does stick with us, that we're coming straight back up. And we've said this over and over again. So I would do everything I can to stay where we are rather than start planning for next season. But it feels like this part of it is looking. I mean, this is what Leicester have clearly done. They're planning. They're not going to sack Dean. What's his name?
Smith.
Me.
Yeah, we're not going to. We're not going to sack Dean. Not going to sack Dean Smith if they get relegated, are they? They're planning for next season. He's probably.
Yeah, and I think ours should be as well. Whether it's Cooper or not, ours should be a plan for next season. Yeah. I don't think you can make a plan for the next 7 games. To be brutally honest.
No,
just one second, Dino. 1 second, Oz. Owen said, sorry, I detest that. We had plenty of time to plan for the Premier League 23 years. I fully agree with what you're saying there. Poor planning and strategy cost us. Stop letting the owners off. I don't know if you're pointing that to us or to the chat, but I don't think anyone here is letting the owners off.
No.
On the planning.
But
I don't know. Who are you pointing that out towards, Owen?
I mean, there's a few... I think that's trying to deflect it off Cooper, but Cooper's ultimately the man making the decisions on the pitch, and that's what we're talking about. What we haven't seen on the pitch is any progress from him, especially in the last few months, you know. So that's what I'm complaining about. And that's not Marinakis' fault. Marinakis has backed him. That's not
just for you jump in, Dino.
Firmly on Cooper.
Guys, we're way over 200 people in here at this crazy time of the hour.
51 likes.
Thank you so much for being in here, but we're on 51 likes. Like, I ain't even lying. I'm gonna beg right now because I am shattered, man. I'm shattered, broken, depressed, everything. If you guys just wouldn't mind taking a quick second, just hit that like button. Just get us over 100 likes.
Yeah.
My eyes are blurred. As it is, so I can't really see the count number. I think it says 67, that's 69. Oh, hey, just keep that going up if you don't mind, and we'll keep the conversation flowing because there's a lot to cover off. And don't forget, tomorrow night at 8 is Beat the Drop. This is why we had to do this stream tonight because I'm telling you, all the other teams that won are desperate to get on tomorrow. And sorry, Mike and Chappie, they've got migraines and things and stuff. You should see our private chats.
I'm glad I didn't represent Forest on that one tomorrow. Oh my God!
Well, that's why we had to give poor Ant the night off, man. He's got to prepare his opening statement for tomorrow. God knows what he's going to say, you know. So if you don't mind, hit that like quickly. And I just want to. Sorry, Dino, I interrupted you, and I honestly can't remember the point we were talking about.
That was shit.
In a nutshell, yeah. Okay, speaking of crap, right? Yeah. I want to talk about... Now, that's probably a wrong opening statement. I want to talk about Navas, right? Because I thought today he was amazing and crap both at the same time. Yeah. His save against Bruno's the ferret shot. I've never seen a ball hit that hard, right? I thought it just cracked the post. But the way he saved it onto there was unreal. But he keeps parrying that goddamn ball into the middle of the 6-yard box. Now, I've had this debate with Twist while we were doing some editing on the vlog, and he's like, I'm being harsh. He's like, where else could you have pushed that? I'm saying it's not just that. There was incidents in the second half where he parried it. There was 3 onrushing Man U players, and just by luck, Niakate was the one who picked it up and cleared it. Yeah. What are we thinking here? This was my fear with Navas when we got him. I always thought that he was going to make these amazing saves, but he's got oil in his gloves. You know, he can't hold things. So what did you think? I want both your opinions, obviously from a ground perspective, and then Dino as well from you, from what you thought? Because a
the
lot of
armchair
people are saying I'm harsh. Huh?
From the armchair perspective. Scott, you
Go
go.
on, Dino. No, what I was going to say, yeah, as soon as it happened, you knew it was just going to fall to one of their players. As soon as he's parried it, I was like, it's going to fucking fall to him. And
Yeah.
there was, Lodi had very little chance to block the shot. And again, like you say, he made some fantastic saves at the same time. It's unbelievable, the difference. But he's costing us. He's costing us, mate. And I don't think you were being harsh. I think he could have. If he's going to parry, he could have parried it further back so it fell behind the players and instead of right into his path. If I literally you couldn't have passed it better to that ballerina, and he would have done well to miss it. To be honest, so yeah, I've got to put Navas at fault for that goal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, careful, because honestly, I've had pelters for it today. Yeah, I'm not saying that he could have caught everything. Yeah, but he rode his luck a lot with those parries. It's these parries that are really worrying me.
Yeah. Even some crosses coming in, he's punching them. He's never going. He's not looking to catch a ball. And his punches are going anywhere. We were lucky on several occasions. There were actually a couple of good blocks. Certainly Niakate, you mentioned. Even Williams got in and deflected a few away from his parries. He did another bad parry early on in the first half, and Nico got to it and deflected it to the edge of the box, but that could have been just as dangerous as well. So he needs to sort that shit out, mate. And for me, honestly, as soon as Dino's back, not you, Dino, the other Dino, I'm having him straight in, mate. I'm sorry.
Go on, Dino.
Even
and who's got the smoke alarm that's going off? Because I can hear it, and I thought I was going crazy.
No, not me.
Let me check if it's mine. I'll be right back. Go on.
Yeah, please do.
I just think we should. I'm a bit mixed on this one. I think we should probably call him, rather than Kayla, we should call him Barry rather than Parry. Barry Navas. It does seem as though he parries a lot. And I was screaming at him today when he was parrying it out. It's almost an assist machine. But when you watch it back, there's a lot. You look at a lot of them and think, well, what else could he have done with that? I think the main issue is that he's getting the goal's getting peppered in the first place.
Yeah.
And that comes from the midfield, and I think that comes from the forwards. That unit, the midfield and the forwards, they don't work very well together.
Told you they were hiding, mate.
They haven't done for a long time. I think the defence, and don't forget, we've been critical of the defence for as long as I can remember this season, but they are the last line of defence, mate. Our midfield's been overrun most of the season.
Cooper wants us to play out from the back, but there's no shape.
I don't think it's anything to do with that. But I think, in terms of going back to Navas, I mean, that was a phenomenal save that he did, I think, the first half.
From Fernandes, yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous save. But his parrying is annoying. It is annoying. I can't remember Hendo ever doing it, and I can't remember any of the keeper parrying as many out to the on-running players that he does. But when you look at him in isolation like I did today, I think, well, where could he have parried that? No, he couldn't have parried it round. He had no choice. Could he have caught it? No, it was at arm's length. I just think he's a bit unfortunate there. But he is a puncher of the ball. He's not a catcher of the ball.
And don't get me wrong, Simon.
I would take Hendo.
Yeah, we'd take Hendo.
Simon, I would take Hendo back
all
first.
been guilty of that. When we've had players out, we've expected them to come back in and make an impact. And the players that are missing always seem to be better in our minds than the players that are.
I just think Hendo gives the defence a little bit more confidence.
I agree, 100%. I agree.
Just because he comes and dictates and
owns the ball. Now,
well.
Again, we've done it a few times, haven't we? Hendo or Navas.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's, by the way, 52% are Cooper out. I'm going to end this poll. 28 are in and 21 are on the fence. So let's do this Hendo Navas poll. Just one thing to add. It's not even just about the parrying. It's where he's parrying it into. I don't mind if he parries something around for a corner or whatever, or away from the day. He's putting it. I don't think any of those he could
have done today. I agree with what you're saying, 100%. He's just missed a parry, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I don't think any of those today he could have put around. I don't know, it's just unfortunate, I think, today.
I feel the one where Niakate ended up clearing, I feel he could have caught that one or smothered it down. That for me, it's just dangerous. It's dangerous for me. It's too dangerous. And I didn't notice this with Hendo. I didn't notice it. with Samba, I'd say either. You know,
Yeah.
are his wrists too weak?
It is tough, Stoney.
Now, I've put the poll up, Hendo or Navas. Get your votes in on that. So that was Navas, and I heard what you guys were saying. By the way, it's not my smoke alarm. I think it might be something on the system. But anyway, what you were saying is spot on. We've been blaming a lot of stuff on the defense. I think I heard you saying it, Dean, while I was checking the smoke alarm. It's the issue's in the midfield, isn't it? The issue is two things for me today. Two things that made me lose my crap was Cooper didn't notice how overrun we were getting, to the point where that ferret and that freaking, back from the dead guy, they were just taking the mick. They were taking the mick.
Yeah.
There was a sequence of corners.
Ericsson and Fernando show. It was.
Yeah, there was a sequence of corners where they were like, all right, how should we find each other from this one? You know the bit I'm talking about? They were just like, yeah, just lob one to the edge of the box. All right, this time you come in short a little. It was just embarrassing, man. Why didn't Cooper...
It was embarrassing that the players had to be told on the third attempt to close him.
Yeah.
I think it was Jono was sent over to close the short one down, or the corner routine down. But we've said this several times this season where Fulham did it against us. Same corner routine they did against us last season at the City Ground. We did it again this season and they scored from. We don't learn from our mistakes. It's shocking. It's really bad. And you can't keep putting that down to Cooper as well. The players on the pitch react, for fuck's sake. We had this problem, and kind of alluded to it at the start, Dino, about it's like watching Hooten ball. It is like that because it's the same mistakes. Like they're too scared to think for themselves. One of the things that Cooper did when he came into the club was take the shackles off them, and the players said, yeah, it felt like that. But now it seems like they're shackled just as bad as they were under the Hooten days, because they're not using their own minds and abilities. It's like they're sticking to a plan and nothing will change from that plan. Use your own initiative, guys.
Just before you come in, Dino, one sec. Shipston, we're not hating on Navas. Believe me, I'd take Navas carrying that ball a million times before I put Hennessy back in goal. We're just having the debate, bro. I know you know that, Shipston, but... Sorry,
I didn't think I hated on Navas when I was talking about it. I kind of defended him in a way. Yeah,
we're gone. Just this lack of midfield, this lack of...
Yeah, I mean, we need Yates back. But I find it quite sad that we've signed 30 players, yet the people that we've relied on and have wanted to get back into the team are Yates, who's a Forest lad, and Jono, who's probably carried us for goals all season. I mean, the goals from the rest of the team's been shocking this season. Really shocking. You know, if you go back, sorry to do this to you, because I know the younger members hate this, but if you go back to the Clough days, your job as a striker, as a winger, as a midfielder, you had certain jobs, and your strikers were to score, and your midfielders were also to chip in with a certain amount each year. And I don't think that's changed at all in modern football. And they're just not doing it. They're just not doing it. I mean, when you've seen Broiler get anywhere near scoring a goal?
Yeah, but Dina, I've got to agree with what Jeremy's saying.
Anywhere near scoring a goal, other than in my mental head.
Just on what Jeremy said there. Look, I love Yates. I think Yates is our most improved player. But one, his fitness has been shocking this season, whatever the reasons are behind it. And secondly, I go back to my point when Ez was making the point about Nico Williams. Even if Yates was playing today, we're still carrying 7 players. Even if he had the game of his life, we're still carrying 7 players. This is bigger than Yates being in the team or fit or not, man. This is a problem that stems from the top down. The only thing that can be controlled now on the pitch, for me, you can't sack all 30 players, because damn it, I probably would. I'd keep Felipe and Niakate and tell the rest to do one. Yeah,
you know what, I thought
you can't do that
today. I picked about 5 players that I'd keep if I had this clean slate today. In my head, I thought, right, there's the players I build a team around, and the rest can go.
I'm on 2. I'm on literally 2. Niakate and Jono. But from the ones I saw today, I'm saying. But the point is, you can't sack 30 players. As many as you'd want to get rid of, you can't. Any other club, pick the division, pick the league, pick the country, pick the planet. He's long gone. I'm sorry, but it's Twitter fan power. Cooper FC, that has kept him in. Like it or lump it, this is football, man. And maybe these guys who are so blind to it, maybe they haven't watched Premier League football because we haven't been there for 23 years. But this is how the Premier League works. And this is how results happen. Look how Chelsea won all their Premier Leagues. It was hire and fire. Yeah, like it or lump it, that's how it was. That's how it was. There are other teams that have done it, like Pep's obviously built it, but that was built with money. Yeah, the ones who have had success in recent times have had that hire and fire. Don't get attached to the player, get attached to the club.
Yeah, and look at the ones who haven't had success and they're striving for it. How many managers have United had themselves trying to emulate what Ferguson did?
But they'll keep going until they land on it, and they think they've landed on this Ten Hag idiot now, so they'll stick with him for a bit. But that's almost a better philosophy than we've got. Our philosophy is go down, he'll bring us back up.
He's not an idiot. I said to you months ago that he'll turn Man U around. Because
Ten Hag?
Yeah. Because he's like, the best thing he's done for me is get rid of Ronaldo. Because he was toxic.
I don't think he was.
And he's turned them into a fairly robust. I don't agree with him playing Harry Maguire because I think he's shocking.
Around him. Yeah, but look at the
I think he's turned him into a fairly robust side that gets regular results.
Owen, there is no way that if that outcry didn't happen in October, Cooper would have survived. Owen, I love you, bro. But there is no way in hell Cooper walked back through that door without those fans, man. Seriously.
Owen, answer this question. Would any other manager with the run of results he's had, just a recent run of results, when's the last time we had one against Leeds? 8 games ago, 9 games ago? No. Any other manager, would they still be in a job? In the Premier League, in any league? And you know what the answer is. So it's not blaming the fans, but we're saying Cooper's not the right man to be there.
I see where Owen's coming from.
Should have gone sooner. We can disagree, Owen, but...
Yeah, no, I see where Owen's coming from, because I think where Owen's coming from is that Marinakis has got a track record of not messing around. You know?
I don't know. I think he held Hudson longer than he should have for a start. I think people mix up his Olympiacos record with his Forest record.
But he's still the same man.
It was the same with... it was the same with... I think the season before. He should have... Once we didn't... get into the playoffs that season, he shouldn't have started the next season, because again it was a really no winning 7 again, wasn't it, from his start. So he's done that twice, but he's given them a chance. He hasn't been as trigger happy as people seem to think he has at Forest, as he has certainly in Olympiacos. They've had 4 or 5 managers already this season alone, so he's kept his powder dry.
I mean,
but is that fear of the fans turning on him? Because I make this point, the fans should not be turning on Marinakis if he does sack Cooper.
No, I could never turn on Marinakis, to be honest.
Well, I think that's what he's fearing, because otherwise he would have sacked him by now, I believe.
You've got to remember Fawaz. You know, what a joke. I mean, as soon as I knew he got a picture of himself with... he got a painting done, didn't he, with Brian Clough?
Yeah, but do you guys remember? You go back into his era as well. Yeah, we had the Fawaz Day, didn't we? Like, let's go back a long time ago now. Yeah, so owners can be turned on very quickly from a fan base. It's not unusual. Yeah, obviously he had it coming for him, but the point is. The point is, I think people link what Marinakis does at Olympiacos. He took Carlos Corberán, whatever his name was, from Huddersfield, and then dumped him 6 weeks later. He's had probably 3 managers, I think, this season, or even more, at Olympiacos. He runs... Olympiacos is not the same business as Nottingham Forest. He treats it as a separate entity, as he rightly should. The question is, why has he had the patience of Forest? Because with Olympiacos are an established name in the Greek league, etc. Yeah, they've got an established fan base and everything like that. I think he's still trying to figure out where Forest really sit for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. But he's been patient, and nobody can deny that he's backed Cooper, and he's backed Cooper probably at his own cost right now, because any other manager, I think he would have sacked him. It is the fan power that's kept Cooper in the job, and whether that's right or wrong, we'll know by the end of the season. We'll know in a few weeks. But I don't agree with it.
Yeah, sorry, Owen. Again, you're right. We would have been heading for League One. But my point is, that was last season. Thank you for it. You saved it. You literally saved us. In fact, you went further than saving us. You promoted us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's a lifelong ticket for, you're not going to end up with a Cloughie reign here,
Yeah, I mean, I want to comment on that. I kind of agree with you. And 23 years in the abyss, Cooper took us out and gave us such a frigging party, man. So he deserved credit in the bank, but that credit doesn't last forever. In my opinion. Listen, just to change subject. Listen, mate, I wasn't offended by that, and sorry if some of the other chat kind of probably over defended me. But mate, you're entitled to your own opinion. You really are. I just wanted to answer it. That's all. I wasn't calling you out. I just wanted to answer it. But anybody here is entitled to their own opinion. That's no worries, brother.
Yeah. Okay.
On that note, I need a piss.
Yeah, go, mate.
I'm going. Otherwise, I'll pee my pants.
Go on, mate, unless you're wearing nappies, yeah. But, I've gone through the heartache, obviously. Best mate twist. I've had that today. I've recently had Spurs with my brother. My WhatsApp.
You've had Man City. You've had Arsenal.
Man City, Arsenal. Yeah, so I'm handing it over to you now. Thank God. Yeah. I mean, I got a cousin who's a Liverpool fan, but me and him get on, like, our footballing minds are quite similar, yeah? You got your brother coming up, bro.
Yeah.
How you feel? Have you got any chance? You told us we're going to win this one, yeah?
I'm deluded, mate. I said we'll get one more away win this season, and it'll be at Anfield. And until it doesn't happen, I've got to stick with it, aren't I? Otherwise, I'm letting myself down. But I've really, it's a delusion. It's not a hope. It's a delusion. But they've been very shaky, and especially at home this season. But we're that bad that I don't see the hope. I'm more interested in what happens with Cooper this week, because if nothing does happen, then
we're down.
When we're down, and Marinakis hasn't stuck to his word, saying that talking about the improvements in performances and results
immediately,
because there's absolutely been none. We've gone backwards, if anything. So that would disappoint me, because I'm not ever going to ask for people's heads, but I want to keep, this is our club, and I want our club to stay in the division. I don't care. My loyalty is not to Steve Cooper. Thank you for doing the job, but I am lucky enough to have seen my club in the Premier League before. Dave Bassett did a better job. The way Dave Bassett's team got promoted, Cooper did nothing like that. Cooper's was a mini miracle in itself, but
Frank Clark.
If you want to judge the accomplishments, Frank Clark, Dave Bassett, they did it far better.
Went third.
Yeah, did it far better. So that, I'm lucky enough to have seen that, and I understand there's a huge swathe of fans who haven't seen us in the Premier League, and I understand where they're coming from. But you've got to also see the other side of it, that it's just not good enough. And I would, at all costs, for me, it's at all costs to stay up. I'm not thinking out. I don't want to be thinking if we go down and he's going to get us back up. That is such defeatist mentality that I've never gone down that road, and I don't want to go down that road. I want to do until it's mathematically not possible for us to stay up. I don't want to give up that hope yet, and I don't want to be thinking about going down and coming back up.
So just very quickly on this question from Ant the Hat. Serious question. Cooper was praised for changing formation tactics in the Championship when it wasn't working. It wasn't working today and other days. Why has he changed it? To be honest, bro, you're going to love my answer, because it wasn't Cooper that changed it. It was Reed that did it. Who was it? It was Huddersfield, wasn't it? The game in between. Was it Huddersfield? Yeah.
Huddersfield away, yeah.
That's when it changed, man. And that for me is that's your answer. And just quickly, Huffy, I kind of agree with this point. Fans are using the season like a day out, happy to be here, shite. I really do think he's got a point there. There's a lot of people that like, well, we didn't deserve to be here. We didn't deserve to be here, so let's be here and enjoy it, isn't it? It's like you pull a girl at the nightclub while she was out of my league. She's probably not going to call me back, but I can put the notch down. It's that kind of thing. And I think he's got a point.
Come on. That's not a good analogy, mate. Sorry.
Another knock on the bell. It's like enjoy the day out. That's where the criticism came from. I can have a day out in London whenever I want. I don't have to go and see my team get humiliated.
Yeah.
And be happy
let's jump into these questions. Riley's got a question. There's a Q&A open up. He says, would you get rid of Cooper if we stayed up? Dino, I'll start with you on that one.
Personally, and it is personal, yes, because I don't like the style of football that he plays. Unless he changed the style. I hate watching low amount of time on the ball. I'm sorry, and I can't stand no shots on goal or one shot that's on target. I just can't stand it. That's not football for me. So yes, but if he changed his approach and we started peppering goals and playing a bit higher up the pitch, then great. I love Cooper, but he's not shown me anything so far.
Ez?
I don't know about changing approach. He needs to change his backroom team. Taty's not good enough. Really, I love him. He's a Forest legend, but he's not good enough. He's not a good enough coach at this at this level.
Not experienced enough. Yeah.
Not experienced enough. And if you've got an experienced backroom team and you're inexperienced yourself, it doesn't bode well, and it hasn't boded well this season. But I said this a few weeks ago. If we stay up, I'd look for another manager. I'd look for a longer term project. And I think at the moment he's hit his ceiling. And I don't think he's getting any. I've not seen any progress. If I'd seen progress, that's what I said about the rookie Gary O'Neill at Bournemouth. I've seen progress. They play good football. Mate. They deserved their result yesterday. Tottenham are a joke anyway, but they took advantage of that. We could have, and we didn't.
We couldn't.
Bournemouth have an identity for me. I worry about the training. Therefore, I worry about the coaches, because you've got players like Mangala, who's been with us all season, yet still he hasn't seen out of 90 minutes, has he? Yeah. Has he seen out one?
He's seen one. Yeah, one.
Shocking, mate.
Or he got subbed off in the 89th minute or something.
Something really, really wrong there. And all the injuries as well, all the hamstring injuries. Two central defenders within minutes of each other. It's just, I worry about the training, personally.
Yeah.
Therefore, the coaches. I'm sorry, coaches, if you're watching, but I just say it as I see it.
Yeah.
I'll give you my answer. All right. My answer is I wouldn't wait till the end of the season. I'd do it now. Do you know something? Let me make a quick point. I took a 5-minute break to break my fast earlier between what we were doing backstage and stuff. And I just went on Twitter, and the first thing that came up on my tweet was a little interview of Cooper, and I played it thinking it was his post-match interview. I don't know what the interview was, but they were talking to him about who he goes to for inspiration and advice. Do you know who he goes to?
Go on.
No.
Gareth Southgate. He talks to him regularly, and that's the person he exchanges ideas with. I'm paraphrasing this. I don't want to misdo him in any way. And when I read that, I was like, that explains everything. They've got the same upbringing through that England academy. It just brought everything to reality for me. Their style of play is the same. Yeah,
I would not be surprised if he's being groomed for the under-21 role and then the main manager's role, just like Southgate has been. That's how VFA are going now. That seems to be their MO with their managers.
I have a witness. Pat's seen it as well. Yeah, it was unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And it does explain a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It actually does, yeah. It really does.
It does. David's saying, if you could bring any manager from any who are currently available, who'd you like to bring in with a view of trying to keep us up rather than next season? We have to keep the faith. The shortlist is small.
Yeah. Shortlist is small. I don't think you can differentiate the two. I don't think you can bring a manager in just to keep you up now. It's too late in the season, so you got to be planning for next season as well.
I agree, yes, 100%.
And my answer to that would be Nuno right now. Nuno.
Would it be Nuno?
Look what he did to Wolves. And then he got screwed at Spurs.
A name that was mentioned earlier on in the season, a project manager. I'd go with Bielsa, mate. Bring him in now. It's not going to make any difference to keep us up, but it might. It might.
I agree.
He's certainly going to be good enough to get us up or get us playing the right football. It's a type of football we're talking about. Yeah, retro.
See, retro, I like Bielsa. That I've made that clear. But I agree 100% with Ez Wolverine. It's got to be somebody not like a firefighter.
Yeah,
like
it's too late.
Somebody who's
Sam Allardyce. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think And it's not the end of the world, if we go down. It's not. Because I really don't think it'll be 23 years coming back up again. Right? But if we choose, going back to what I was saying earlier, if we choose, the project's got to be the manager and, well, let's say the first team coach, right? Because that's the difference. It's not a manager that chooses his own players and all the team around him. It's got to be somebody who fits the mould of how we want to play going forward. And it can't be 30%, mate. It really can't. It doesn't work. You've got to get found out sooner or later on the counter-attack, and that's all you've got. So, for me, if you bring somebody in now, it's got to be with the next few seasons in mind.
Is this true, by the way? Has he gone to manage?
Yeah, there's pretty
I've
much
seen
done.
a few people put that, actually.
I don't think it's been firmed up, but yeah. For me, Bielsa was perfect in October because Bielsa needs time to coach in his high-pressing style.
He would have had the World Cup break.
Yeah.
That would have been the time to get him in because he wants a 7 or 8 week period before he'll do anything. But
what do you think is about Rodgers? There's a few saying Rodgers in there. Would you take Rodgers?
He makes an impact at clubs. He certainly does in his first couple of seasons, and seems to get them playing the right football. I'm looking for. He's not a project manager. Again, he's a short-term 1 or 2 years.
Do you think that? I don't know.
No, maybe he's not been at the right club yet.
He's had a few.
He does, when he gets it right, he plays some attractive football, mate. I know he's been playing a lot of back three whilst he was at Leicester, but prior to that, mate, he has played some good football. If he hadn't been Leicester manager, I probably wouldn't hesitate as much as I am doing, but
I didn't care about that. Do you know the thing I care about more? He's an ex-Swansea manager. That's the one that's doing my head.
Yeah, well, like Coops.
I don't want another Swansea manager. All right, Dino, next question.
The chap cheered me up tonight, to be honest.
I'm feeling better. I am
fucking grumpy earlier. And
Dino, you've cheered me up a bit, mate. You've cheered me up a bit. You've been very calming. You almost sound like an ASMR cassette tape.
It's because I'm getting over this frigging chest infection.
Let me ask you the next question.
I've got a bit of a Barry White voice. That's why.
All right, here you go, Dino. It's from Dams. He says, "Do you think we need better players? Are transfer loans possible at this stage of the affairs?"
We need players that fit the structure of what we want to play. I.e., we signed 30 and still have no defensive midfielder. We have one left winger that can also play as a forward. We have no real quality up front. There's big gaps in our recruitment. So I think it goes back to the drawing board for me, Nicola Sturgeon. You've got to get your style that you want to play, style A, style B. Yeah. Like Man City. Look at Man City. They've got the Man City way. We don't have a Forest way, do we?
We used to.
And so therefore, Man City and look, when they bought Haaland, that really kind of upset the apple cart with the Man City way, didn't it? Because they had to learn to play with a striker. Because before that, they were strikerless. Remember? They never played with a striker.
I'd love to have that headache of someone coming in scoring 400 goals a season, upsetting our apple cart. They
had to adapt to that, and they've done brilliantly.
And they have adapted. They just feel like they're in machine mode right now, don't they? They just feel like.
And then they've got a good backup in Alvarez. Oh my God, Alvarez at Forest! Imagine, right?
I'd take him.
Take him, but he probably wouldn't score many because we don't create enough chances.
Exactly.
We have to have that identity first, and then build a platform around that. Okay, so if we are playing with a solid Partey type central CDM, then we buy 2 or 3 in that mould, not a Shelby, not a Freuler that we just kind of patch in there as a sticking plaster. That's the problem for me. So it almost has to go back to scratch for me.
Yeah. All right. You can tell it's getting late because the answers are getting funny and silly all at the same time. So I think we'll wrap it up there. I've just looked at the clock. We've all got work tomorrow as well in the normal day job. So
it feels like that's the most disappointing thing of the day. It feels like a Saturday night to me.
It does. That's what's annoying me. Work tomorrow. I've got a meeting in the morning.
It's Monday.
Yeah. Guys, we're 8 likes away from 100. We're still well over 200 of you in here. So if you want taking a quick second just to do that. But don't forget, if you're still staying up, you've got all the match reactions from the FFTV, guys. The video log is there. Please get in the comments what you think about the skit the FFTV boys did. They just went so over the limits.
Sorry about my Ten Hag impression and the voodoo doll voice.
Well, don't ruin it for them. Let them go watch that. So make sure you go and watch that if you haven't already. We're on 99, so we need one more person to make it the full 100. I want to thank everyone. Look, I hope in some ways we may have cheered you up just a little bit. I don't know. I'm still depressed, but I'm less depressed.
These have cheered me up no end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump being the next manager, I don't know if I should laugh or cry at that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with video and Beat the Drop tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out
how to escape.
Well, I'm neutral. I'm neutral on the show tomorrow, so I'm good. It's Ant's problem. But yeah, that's going to be a hell of a bit of fun tomorrow. So thank you all from all of us. Go check the vlog out if you haven't already. We'll catch you tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.